Welcome to this week's race in the course of Racing League. Today we are racing in Hungary, here in Budapest. Around this track we've seen Hamilton's recovery drives and Bottas causing mass collision. So what our drivers will do today will be exciting. The track we are racing is the 4.3 kilometer long Hungaroring with 14 turns, 8 to the right and 6 to the left. It has one DRS zone on the start-finish straight, which continues on the exit of turn 1. I would also like to use this opportunity to show our support for the country of Ukraine, who have been invaded by Russia. In our Discord, we have links for donation pages to the Ukrainian people and army. In the meantime, enjoy the race and stream. Cheers, guys.
Evening, everyone.
Was someone muted?
No. We're on air now. Everything's working.
Woo! Well, round 6 Hungary.
Yep.
So, Adam,
Tell me.
my dear friend,
Inform me on everything.
what do you? No, I'm asking you a question. What do you think of this track personally?
Personally, I find it to be a little bit difficult, especially around when the tires start to wear out, because it's on the verge of being a 2-stop, but it's mainly going to be a 1-stop. If you want a good strategy, that's for sure.
Yeah, as we found out yesterday in the Division 1 race, the people that went for the 1-stop definitely benefited the most from stretching their tyres out the longest. So we'll see if anyone here doesn't make the same mistake that me and you did, which was to box onto the hards. So
Anyways, we have a few drivers out. Unknown player, Wrath, Boo Connoisseur, and Sebo. And lastly, Maverick. All these drivers are out. And I believe Sebo is the first one to start his lap. So if Danny Boy, you could give us a rundown for his...
Yeah. So heavy braking into turn 1, gets the car out nice and wide, followed by another DRS zone. So brings the car over to the right side of the track, brakes, gets to the inside of the corner, almost touching the curb, runs out wide. Will he cut across here? No, he doesn't cut across the curb as much as he could have. Heading up into turn 4, very short braking, very fast. All runs a bit wide. Not an invalidation though, so he's still going to keep going. And then out of the exit at turn 5, into the chicane, turn 6, 7. Does he take the curb? Yes. Nicely done through the chicane. And to the left-hander of 8. And then 9. Run a bit wide. Doesn't really seem to have the car fully under control. Goes through 10. Goes into 11 now. Yeah, he just seems a bit slow. No offense. Not very great lap. But, you know, it's just meant to be a banker. So we'll see as the time starts trickling in. But a 1:16.8 by Vicky. 1:16.6 by Warpander now as he just crosses the line.
Yeah, they're
Ferrari.
popping. And all the laps are popping in with Sebo.
Yeah.
Sebo's about to finish his lap now. As he crosses the line, he sets 1:17.3, which puts him in third place at the moment.
Yeah. So it's only a banker, but the 1:16s they're good to see for bankers. I'm expecting definitely to see across most of the field for most people to be doing a 1:16 or a 1:17. Maybe some people like Adam XMX, a very, very talented driver in the league.
Yeah.
I think
you might see them in 1:14s like we saw yesterday, or
yeah.
To be fair though, it was even difficult for Division 1 drivers to enter into the 1:14s because I think the lowest was a 1:14 8, if I'm not wrong.
7, yeah, 8-7, yeah,
Yeah.
around that kind of mark. So I don't think we'll be seeing 114s, but I feel like some drivers such as, you know, Logic and Adam, I feel like they certainly could break into the 115s. They've certainly showed us throughout the season that they've got the pace to do it. So I'm looking forward to see it. And as well, strategy, short qualifying.
Definitely.
Whatever tire you start on is, I mean, qualify on is the tire you're going to start on. So some drivers might opt to qualify on the mediums.
Currently, Adam XMX is setting his lap right now, his banker lap, on the mediums, which I don't believe he'd start with these since he's going out on them so early. If you were to start on the mediums, you'd want to go out as late as possible when the track is as gripped up as possible. But one thing I have noticed from Adam XMX's lap is that he uses a lot more of the track than Sebo did on his lap. He goes really wide out, using as much of the track as possible.
Well, those medium tires not having anywhere near as much grip. I think what the tire difference makes it around about 6-7 tenths a lap.
I think so.
On across just one lap. So I don't expect Adam to be starting on these tires. I think the people out on the mediums currently are just trying to get a feel for the track and see what the conditions are like. Whether there is more grip than time trial or less grip, because sometimes time trial, it's not representative of what the experience is going to be like.
Because there's always going to be you have to take into account the tire wear, the fuel that you have on board, and all that really affects the car, especially when you're driving.
Yeah, and the temperatures as well. You know, you can sometimes the temperature in time trial is you can overheat the tires throughout the lap if you push too hard. I myself, I'm not sure if you did yesterday, but throughout the week I was struggling in practice with tire heat. The rear left was just overheating too much around Hungary, especially in the last sector. Yeah, sector 2 and sector 3 is where the tires were just screaming.
I think it's just the way the track is, but some drivers seem to know how to do it pretty well. And like we see Unknown Player, who just set a time while we were speaking, he set a 16.3, which is 2 tenths faster than Lima, and it just shows. The final sector is probably the part where a lot of people can make or break the time, especially in the race too, because of how sketchy it can be when the tires are worn out or even hot and such.
Not much room for error, you know. If you miss, you're probably going to go into a wall and lose your wing or something, or maybe even a DNF. Or margin. Twitch Lima, 16.5. He hasn't been in the division for too long, but he seems to be showing good pace. He's sat at the top there currently with Known Player and Wrath.
He definitely has something to prove here, since he hasn't shown his face around too much, but he wants to really show that he's a new driver and he can be reckoned with. But
yeah, exactly.
Since he's also new, I don't think he knows about Adam XMX always coming in last minute to send the lap and just take everyone's false hope basically away.
Yeah, I think Adam. I don't think he's started outside the top 2 this season, so it just goes to show. I think Monza he started second, I believe, and then I think most other tracks he's been on pole position for them. So he's just got so much pace in this division.
Was one of the last drivers to set a lap who didn't set it in the beginning. Who set a 1:17.4, putting him into P9.
Yeah.
Talking about Uru, he's one of the few drivers that I even remember in the last season. He generally, his quali pace would be quite good sometimes, but his race finishes, he used to be very lucky, similar to like Perez and such. He used to benefit a lot on others' failures and such. Yeah.
Certainly, I mean, I remember sometimes he's been able to get into top 5 in quali. You know, it's not an easy thing to do. So he definitely has pace and talent, but it's just consistency. It's the same thing with a lot of these Division 2 drivers. It's not that they don't lack pace. It's just that they can't nail the consistency down, and that's what causes them to have the errors in the race. And
that's also one of the things that differentiates the Division 2 drivers from Division 1, because you'll find some of the Division 1s. I don't mean to brag, but like they put in sometimes like 16 and a whole bunch of hours. Into practicing the race and such.
I think you can relate the most.
Yeah, but I don't show it. I don't show it with yesterday's spin, which is something to mention too.
Say what you say. Yeah, but no, there's certainly drivers. I think Dubby's probably the best one in the league in terms of raw pace and consistency.
True.
He has both of them. Like, as long as nothing goes wrong at the start, the second he starts breaking that DRS, and
Yeah, that's it. That's
there's
over
no
for everyone
random
else.
safety car.
We've
There's
had
no
a
random safety car.
a late joined by X Davis who had some issues, and he's just joined now.
Yeah, supposed to have a grid of 18 today, but two people were having game issues. X Davis being one of them, and Bruthmill being the other. Two of our regulars, both very good drivers. But the other one is also Lima, not the Twitch Lima, but another Lima, and Ankles, who both were in the Mercedes team reserving today. So shame they could not make it. They might be able to join later on, who knows? But the lobby is currently up and going. So Maverick, though, just set a purple sector 1. So he's a Maverick, you know.
He's a difficult one to talk about. Now, obviously, we shouldn't talk about it right now because he's on his lap. But as soon as he finishes the lap, we'll be able to discuss about it. But for now, we could talk about his teammate Wrath, who at the moment is second in the standings, and he's rather far behind Adam XMX, who's currently leading with 110 points, and Wrath only has 61. Do you think he's going to be able to catch up in the later bits of the season, or do you think Adam XMX has just kind of dominated it and is just going to take it away?
I think it's going to be the same as last season. You know, Norbiak, he's just a bit of like, he's just head and shoulders above the rest. As Maverick, I was talking about this. He goes and sets a 1:16.2. It's currently the fastest lap of the session. I'm sure Adam will have something to say about that, but I'm sure Maverick's really happy with that lap. You know, I saw him set a purple sector 1, then a purple sector 2, and I was like, oh, Maverick, please don't bin it. Oh, great lap from Maverick. Yeah, you see the little movement from the wheel. He's happy with it.
He's definitely happy. I mean, he's had a lot of issues, and I think like almost 99.9% of them are never his fault. Almost, he just seems to be always in the midst of trouble. And hopefully, starting in the front, especially on a track like this where it's so difficult to overtake, it should help him a lot.
You've got to honestly, track position is very key around here. The same as Monaco. Honestly, your tires can be 10, 15 laps older, and you can still be able to hold off for charging someone who's charging through the field, because there's just not, the main straight just isn't long enough. Like, you can hold off with a little bit of ERS even if they have DRS as such.
That's true.
So. But yeah, but back to what you're saying about Rathanam. I don't know. I think it's the same as the thing last season. We had a good competitor last season in Norbiak, who got promoted to Division 1, but he just seemed a little bit head and shoulders above the rest in terms of pace and consistency. So, and I think we're seeing the same from Adam here today.
That's true.
But I'm not saying Wrath isn't out of it. Technically, he's not. Season is still long. We're only 6 races in out of 11. So, I don't know. Anything can happen. Adam could miss a few weeks, or for whatever reason. Hopefully, he doesn't. But yeah, he has certainly put that nice cushion for himself to take that championship. So as they would say, he's got one hand already on the trophy. So.
Yeah, give me a sec. Just had to ban a few people from the chat. first time.
Promoting their own league or what?
No. They were saying stream sucks. Obviously, stream doesn't suck. I'm the one streaming today.
Yeah, but no, 1:16.2. I think we might see a 1:15 here. Like,
I think so, definitely. I mean, we're entering the last 3 minutes of qualifying now, and I know for sure that at 2:50 is like the last time people in their garages can go out and go for one last lap. And as you say that, you see that you're gonna see 1:15's. A known player sets on 1:16.0.
It's right on the cuff of it. So.
Which means like it's definitely there for these drivers, and I don't know who might set it, but Adam XMX, I think he's started his lap now. We're gonna see if he's gonna do it. Wait, let me see his ERS.
1:16.3.
No, Adam XMX has done his lap.
He's still got time to do another one. He can get back into the pits, fresh set of tires, and out he goes.
The issue is, I don't think he will have the time to go back into the pits and go on a fresh set of tires.
It'll be very marginal.
Yeah, I think he timed it very badly, I have to say.
Yeah, not the maximum track grip.
But Wrath and Maverick are both players that can go out right now and really prioritize coming out at the right time. Unknown Player is also another guy who I think has enough fuel for another lap to go, and he's saving his ERS here, and he's about to start a lap. Maybe we'll see him into the 115s.
Yeah, but as you said, talk about Maverick and Wrath both being in the pits. Both of them come out at the same time, so I'm sure we'll see another lap from them. Talking of constructors quickly, there is a lot of teams to fight for constructors. You know, we've got the Alpines of Maverick and Wrath. You know, Wrath's been putting in very consistent performances. You see him on the podium most weekends.
Yeah, that's true.
Maverick gets the occasional podium as well with some solid points finishes. You know, top 5.
Yeah,
sometimes it's but it's what it is. What it is. The Ferraris as well, very strong. Both, I think, Sebo has won a race. Or was it Warpanda? I can't remember.
Sebo, I believe he won a race, but then with some penalties and such, it got removed. But
yeah, so
still though, he's close to AlphaTauri. He has 100 total. Ferrari has 101 points, with AlphaTauri having 110. And the interesting thing is that Adam XMX seems to have gotten all the points for AlphaTauri.
Vicky's struggling.
Vicky's still on 0 points.
Okay, let's not kid ourselves here. He's obviously not the fastest in the league, but
it's okay. But the thing is, we've seen so much happen in this league where so many surprises come out of nowhere. I really wouldn't be surprised to see even if he got a podium suddenly, because we've seen it in Division 1 where a guy who just joins the league suddenly wins the race because so many people have mistakes and such.
Yeah, exactly.
But something to talk about now is both Alpines. Do you think that Maverick's in front to give the toe to Wrath, as Wrath is kind of the main driver with the points, or do you think that maybe Wrath is staying behind to give Maverick the clear in front?
I don't know. I don't really think there's a... I mean, both these guys know each other IRL. They're very good friends. I don't really think there's a #1 driver at the team, as you see, with potentially... Oh, I think we both speak from experience being #2 drivers in our own division.
Yeah, that's true.
For our teams, but yeah, no, I don't think these guys see each other less. I think they both see each other as equals. So I don't really think one's doing the heavy lifting.
Maverick's
for the other,
about to cross the line now.
Don't think it's going to be improvement. The team Mike's been a very good lap, but yeah, 10th.
It's a marginal improvement with Wrath. That was a really good lap. He found a whole extra half a second over a known player.
Yeah. Well, speaking of who can topple him, Logic. He's in the pit though, so not Logic's, but Adam. You know, contender
Adam.
As usual for pole position. He did get out in time. I thought he would, but he started a lap with about 10 seconds to go. So we'll see how well he's able to hook it up here. But Wrath, what a lap! 5/10 ahead of anyone else, and that is with
it was very well done from him, I have to say. It's gonna be tough to beat.
Sorry, go on.
I was gonna say it's gonna be tough to beat for anyone because I think Wrath probably had a really good mix of having both slipstream from Maverick in front and also just having optimal tires and such.
As Maverick gets out of the way for Adam XMX, who's currently up a 10th on his previous time, so pole position. He's gonna have to pull off something magical in these final 2 sectors.
Yeah, and there's a lot of traffic in these final sectors too.
Yeah. Let's see what he does in his sector split. He's only up a 10th still.
Crashed. But still, because he set a lap, he will start second as we speak. But still have to see what Adam XMX will do.
Be pole position for Wrath. I mean, he's putting an absolute stellar lap, and Adam doesn't really seem to be anywhere. He's only going to improve by a 10th or 2.
One thing to mention on that lap, I think car number 69, while he was entering the pits, I think that kind of stopped him in the final few turns there, because the dirty air probably got to him around that last penultimate hairpin.
He is for 3rd. That's definitely still a good position for Adam, just pipping Warpanda. And as we were talking about earlier before things started to spice up, you know, the Ferraris, they seem to be quite good in terms of pace and consistency. They finished top 4 most times, but with both drivers. So as we're talking about constructors, definitely a team to be looking out for. So And
100%. And also a really good. I mean, I have to say the Alpines really seem to be the team to beat at this track currently, because both of them are in quite
top 5.
Yeah, exactly. Both are in really good positions, and maybe Wrath could have used the fact that that Maverick is behind and really use the a strategy maybe to prevent Adam XMX, for example, maybe doing an undercut perhaps.
True. If Maverick gets out ahead and is able to block for his teammate, which I think me and you, we've both had to do sometimes, so you know what it's all about. But yeah, so top 5 in end of qualifying. We've got Wrath on pole position with a brilliant 1:15.5, 5/10 ahead of anyone else. A known player, another great lap by him. He did a 1:16 dead. Adam XMX 1:16.1, and then Warpanda with a 1:16.1. Maverick with a 1:16.2. So those are our top 5.
So
anything can happen in this race, to be honest.
I've gotten some people in the chat. One of them is saying, "Can Danny Boy accept me on Steam?" And the other one, unknown player, says the race is gonna be wet. Oh, and it is wet. Oh, this is gonna be very, very spicy. Especially Maverick might pull a Bottas if he misjudges his braking a little bit.
It would be ideal, wouldn't it?
I mean, we saw Hamilton. Where did he finish in real life?
He finished 2nd. I mean, to be fair, that was a absolute blunder from Mercedes, not.
Yeah.
So. But otherwise, he would have been leading the pack. I thought, to be honest, but
Still very, very interesting.
We saw an Alpine win here IRL last year. Do you think we'll see an Alpine win here today?
There's a good chance of it, but the thing is, with this wet race, it means it's unpredictable.
Yeah.
All it takes is going on the throttle a little bit too much around a corner, especially around something like Hungary, where it's such a downforce heavy track, and if you're not going as fast as you really can and not getting as much downforce as you can, you're gonna be quite slow and off the pace.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I see a lot of standing water today, so we'll see what that means for the drivers. Safety car is on reduced as per Division 2 rules, but I wonder how many safety cars we'll see today, because I'm not sure. It could be messy here, especially hopefully everyone's slow and steady into turn 1 and keeps their nose clean. But
yeah,
see
definitely.
See how it goes.
So the strategy is wet.
Wet.
Not really much to say here.
Jeff.
I mean, from what the strategy shows, it shows that you could do. I think with it being wet, I think maybe these guys could just pull a no stop maybe, or maybe just a one stop. But I don't think we're gonna be seeing the inters even come out today.
Yeah, I don't believe so either. I mean, in Turkey, in real life, we saw some drivers
in interslicks.
Yeah, no, we saw some drivers not pit at all.
Yeah,
they made their
true.
tires last the entire race because they can.
I think that was the first time I ever knew that you don't have to pit in wet conditions.
Yeah, there's no mandatory tyre change, so some drivers are able to do it. I don't think Hungary's the track to where you can stretch the tyres out for as long as possible, whether it's wet or dry.
True.
But we'll see. I mean, just back to constructors. I mean, we've got the Alpines, we've got the Alpha Tauris. I think Williams, if Uru and because a known player is definitely up there, Uru just needs to try and get himself higher up a little bit. But
Uru at the
Williams
moment, I have to say though, he's carrying the Red Bull team entirely, which is good to see from him. But I think his teammate needs to assist him a little bit.
Same for a known player. His teammate's been off.
Race is about to start here.
As well, so.
We have Wrath in first place. We're about to have lights out. And away we go. Wrath seems to have gotten a good start, but so does a known player, but he gets a bit of wheel spin.
It's Adam!
That collides into Adam XMX, which promotes Wrath into first place. Warpanda in second place.
That's a lot of debris. I think we've got Odish out of the race. A known player. Oh, I think he's going to be answering the stewards for that. He's cut across into him, and then he's just come back again. He has no grip.
He's still trying to get the car around, but I think that's a shame from an unknown player. He got too much wheel spin on that start.
That's so unlucky for Oddish. That is the worst feeling. You've put in hours of practice and you get taken out first thing on the...
I saw him post the screenshot in the Discord early on. He was doing 31 laps of time trial, which is honestly a real shame, and it's gonna be a bit of a headache for us with the reports.
Look who got in front because of Adam's misfortunes. Wrath and Maverick. So we have a Alpine 1-2. I'm sure they'll be happy with it.
I have to say that we saw how a Mercedes 1-2 went yesterday from the first corner.
Yeah.
Maverick just needs to keep it both of them need to keep it really consistent, because I think pace-wise, there's a lot of people that can't really compete with them unless... I mean, wet pace is completely different from dry pace, so it's going to be very interesting to see, I have to say.
I'm sure we're going to see some drivers pitting. Definitely a known player. I think Boob Connoisseur as well, or Bob, sorry. I think he collided with Williams, so he's definitely got wing damage. He's struggling. Adams most certainly has wing damage. Just unlucky.
That's so unlucky for Adam XMX. I'd be furious right now, but
there's no pressure on him now. He's back of the grid. Yeah. He's got a full race ahead of him.
Safety car, which is good to help him. He's gonna pit now. Come out in the same position that he is, because I believe even Boob has to pit. So he's in a good position for a comeback drive, and if we see him pull off this comeback drive, it's definitely going to be one to remember, to see Adam XMX coming from 13th on the grid now, and wherever we'll see him at the end of the race.
I mean, don't count him out. I think we saw him pull off a great wet drive in Imola this season, so
that's
certainly.
True. I remember I was watching that race. It was really, really interesting to see, and really amusing.
Well, apart from those poor souls, I think everyone else managed to get through the start relatively unscathed. Obviously, the Alpine's getting up to a 1-2. War Panda, most people just going up one position. So, I mean, what? Oh, well, car number 69, he definitely gained 4 positions out of the most out of anyone. Sebo, 3 from 10th on the grid. And Twitch Lima, he gained 3 as well from 8th. So, you know, this has really benefited some people, but Adam's lost 10 and known players lost 12. Started second, now at the back. I mean, he's only got himself to blame, but then
That's
again,
true,
these conditions can catch anyone out. So.
One thing to mention though is that the safety car could help a lot of these drivers in getting used to the wet conditions currently.
Yeah.
So maybe it's a blessing in disguise for Adam to maybe get up to grips again after having such a blunder. Just getting used to, alright, it's wet now, I need to stay nice and focused, I need to stay close to the drivers ahead and get a good start on the safety car restart.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I bet you if I were though, this safety car restart is going to catch out some drivers who haven't warmed their tyres enough, and cold tyres in the full wet is disastrous.
It's a nightmare, and it could even cause more collisions, so I really hope a lot of these drivers have heated up. But it seems like the safety car's staying out for another lap, meaning that these drivers have time to heat up the tyres. One person that is probably going to have the hottest tires on the grid is an unknown player. As I say that, he crashes. Unknown player is gonna have to pit again and change out his wing.
I think he runs no assists, so I don't think he's used to this kind of. I mean, you can just see on the track the standing waters everywhere. So
that's true. And especially with my low graphics, that's all you can see, because you're not seeing really rain on the screen. You're seeing dashes and lines.
Yeah. No, but the rain is falling heavily. I mean, most corners standing everywhere. So
something that was interesting about yesterday's race, which I think should be mentioned, was that the fact that there was no safety car yesterday. And I think we were so used to having a safety car that we always put low fuel. And even myself, I remember I said, let me put like half a lap extra fuel and that's it, because there's always going to be a safety car, but there wasn't, which really messed it up. But for a lot of these drivers, I think they probably will have enough fuel to finish the race. Yeah,
especially now. Yeah, they should definitely. But a known player makes his pit stop again. Honestly, I think he's more just a hazard than a competitor on the track at the moment. So you better take it careful.
It can be like that, honestly, and we don't mean it disrespectfully, but it is very difficult to race in these conditions and to do it consistently too.
Yeah, and without assists, then
exactly. And with race starts specifically, I don't think even myself, I haven't practiced much wet race starts. It's very difficult to do. But
yeah,
speaking of wet race starts, we're gonna see Wrath get the race underway again.
Yeah.
And I think the best thing about this is that Maverick is in P2, so Wrath could easily just say, "All right, I'm going now."
Yeah, he can tell his teammate, right, you hold on, everyone else.
And
away
he's
he
gone
goes.
now. Maverick.
Oh, both the Alpines got a brilliant start compared to everyone else. Warpanda here from McLaren. Will he look down the inside? Logic? No,
Smart
he does
from
not.
Logic to back out of that because with the wet conditions it's so hard to master your braking. But Warpanda loses it a bit. Is Logic gonna get around him? No, he doesn't.
Warpanda able to hold it. You know, he's got to do his job for the Ferrari team here in third. Consistency is key, and they've been consistent all season. So let's hope he stays there.
Looking down the grid, I don't think anyone else is really struggling too much. We have unknown players who's ahead on the track at the moment, and he probably might get lapped this lap or next lap, I think.
Yeah, I mean, he's got to hope for another safety car. He's a lap down almost, poor fella. I'm sure a couple drivers aren't. Oh, and he's lost. I can see he's lost wing. He's gonna have to pit again.
Oh, that's a shame, bro. The Williams are dishing out their pockets right now to pay for these front wings.
I never retire because you've always got to stay confident. You've always got to keep your hopes up anything can happen.
True.
But a lap down and he's got to pit again, and he's just struggling with the conditions. I think thinking it might be wise to retire. No offense, he's a very talented driver, but not his day.
That's true. I mean, we did see him start from a good position, but these conditions can catch out anyone, as we've seen.
Further back down the field, though, Vicky and Davis having a good old scrap. Davis just trying to find his way around the AlphaTauri, but not being able to do so. That's the beauty
true.
of
And
Hungary.
even though the AlphaTauri is ghosted, it's almost impossible to get like a really good exit, especially in the wet conditions. But Davis just needs to brake a little bit later, which is good.
And he does, and he gets down the inside at turn 1. Good move by Davis.
A lot of these guys, although staying quite close to each other, is very difficult to go for moves and stay confident on the brakes. But I think Lima here is probably the closest to make a move on Logic, but has to back out of it a little bit because it's going to close as soon as he goes up into this corner. But he's staying very nice and close to Logic here. Further up the grid, we see Mavericks just extending his lead on Warpanda, who is staying 8/10 position, but there's not really DRS here, so there's not really a benefit of staying close to your teammate too much.
Yeah. For car number 69, he's made up 5 positions, and he's getting closer to Serbo. No, driver we haven't talked about. Car number 69, he seems middle of the field in terms of pace, and his consistency also seems average. He's not consistent all the time.
He's improved a lot from last season, I have to say. I remember last season, specifically in a social race, it was Japan and it was wet, and he was struggling all over the place. But now we've seen that he's actually having a lot of pace on the wet, and he's even catching the driver ahead of him as we speak right now.
Great. As the fastest laps start trickling in, we see Maverick set the fast behind his team.